Hello, my creepy lovelies, and welcome back to the fifth and final episode of Pass It On. You guys remember last time? Poor Jason and Roxanne lost all their friends to this curse thanks to his Uncle Kyle, who made sure to curse everyone first and then disappear. So now, looks like they have some decisions to make. Let's begin, shall we? Roxanne taps furiously at the keys of her laptop as Jason looks over sadly at her and puts down his phone. Jason approaches Roxanne and puts his hand on her shoulder. He knows she is denial. He knows she is in denial about Beth's decision to succumb to the curse and tries to help her accept the truth as delicately as possible. Rox. She continues typing as she tries to contact Beth. Jason speaks a bit more sternly. Rox. She shakes her head and scoffs while she continues to ignore him and desperately attempts to reach her friend. Jason closes her laptop and she finally responds to him. Why'd you do that? She's gone, Rox. No! Don't you dare say that to me! I just have to... Jason grabs her by both shoulders and makes her look him in the eyes. She's gone. Beth is gone. Roxanne's eyes shake and her lip quivers as she starts to cry. Jason pulls her into him and holds her tight. I'm so sorry, baby. Why? Why did he do this to us? Our friends are gone, Jace. They're all gone. He strokes her hair as he continues to console her. I know, baby. We're next, Jason. Oh, sorry. She pulls away to look at him. We're next, Jason. You don't know that. Don't I? We have been taking pictures and videos since we got here. I know, but I haven't heard any strange noises. Have you? Roxanne sighs and crosses her arms as she shakes her head no. Then we're good, babe. Until we aren't. Jason blows out through his lips dramatically and sits down on the couch, rubbing the back of his head anxiously as he knows Roxanne has a point. She sits down near him and touches his knee. You know as well as I do that if we don't do something, she'll come for us next. Jason looks at her. You mean pass it on? Yes. There's got to be another way. There might be, but the problem is that we have no idea how close she is to us now, and the only way to find out is to take a picture. Remember, guys, they don't know how close she is currently, thanks to Kyle taking pictures of them without their, without their knowledge when they were all online. They both shudder at the thought. That's too dangerous. Just one pic might be enough to start for us to start hearing noises. I know, but how else are we supposed to know how close she is to us? Jason sucks his teeth and suddenly pulls out his phone, putting both him and Roxanne on edge. He holds up a hand to her. We can check the last pictures we took before Kyle tricked us all, and guesstimate how much closer she might be now. They're the ones of us tasting wine at dinner last night, right? Roxanne laughs with a small smile at the memory. Joe made me swear not to tell my parents that they let us have wine, so I shared the picture on my friend space wall, but changed the settings to block my parents or any of their siblings or friends from seeing it. Jason bobbed his head and went to Roxanne's social media page to check out the pictures. A shudder went up his spine when he saw the picture Roxanne had taken of him sipping his wine with the girl floating in the air beyond the patio behind him. He quickly swiped over to the picture he took of Roxanne, holding up her wine glass and winking at the camera, and saw that the girl seemed to be just as far away from Roxanne as she had been from him in his picture. He sighed deeply and put his phone away. Okay, if I had to guess, I'd say she's about a good 50 feet or so from both of us. And neither of us are hearing her, so she must still be a good bit away from us both. But the only way to know for sure how close or far she is by taking a picture. Unless you have another idea. After a long moment of thought, Jason exasperated and threw his hands in the air. Exactly. And all it'll take is for us to accidentally step in front of someone filming or snapping a shot, and then bam! Jason looks away from her, and Roxanne touches his face to make him look back at her. I can spend my time researching about this curse and how else to rid ourselves of it, but we both know we're racing against the clock. What are you saying we should do? Roxanne goes back to her laptop and opens it up. We both print out the girl's picture and carry them with us, so that we can just hand it off to some random stranger when the mood strikes us. Don't do that. Don't do what? Don't act like I have no problem with cursing someone else, because I do. They stare at one another for a minute before Jason kneels down beside her and rests his hand on her knee. I'm sorry, Rox. This is all just... She takes his face in both hands. Shh, I know, babe. I'm scared too. I hate this so much, but I already lost my best friend, so I refuse to lose you too. Jason leans up and kisses her tenderly on the lips. He then wipes away a tear that managed to slip down her cheek after ending their kiss. Roxanne gives him a small, sad smile and returns her attention to her computer. You need a minute? No, I'm okay. Focusing on finding us a way out of this will help me compartmentalize my grief over our friends. If I don't pull all my energy into this, I'll fall apart completely. Jason rubs her arm and gets up to sit next to her. Maybe we could write down everything we know about the curse on the back of the pictures we print out, so that whoever we give them to will at least know what's happening to them. That's actually a really good idea. Yeah, one I hope will amount to nothing, because you'll find another way for us to rid ourselves of her. From your lips, babe. Roxanne spends the next few days researching all about the curse, while she and Jason avoid any sighting of a camera as much as possible. They even make up a story about an unexpected school project that they have to complete before summer is over to keep Jo and her sister from questioning them too much. Oh, like questioning why they're just staying in their room. After days of research, Roxanne is only able to find one solution to their problem, which leaves both her and Jason at their wits' end. We literally have no other choice, Jace. There's always a choice, Rox. You know what? You're right, there is. Jason's eyes go wide with panic when Roxanne goes to the dresser where they had both stashed their phones and gets them out. Jason practically jumps out of his skin when she comes towards him with their phones. What are you doing? The only other way is just to take pictures until she finally gets us. She shoves his phone at him. You want to go first, or should I? Or maybe we should do it at the same time. Jason immediately snatches both phones from her and rushes to put them back in the drawer, making it clatter when he roughly closes it shut. He breathes out deeply in relief at the cameras of their phones being gone before turning back to Roxanne. Don't even joke like that, Rox. She shrugs. Who said I was joking? Jason scoffs and shakes his head, making Roxanne clasp her hands together. We both barely slept since talking with your uncle. I have spent hours upon hours looking into this cursed girl, and the only things I have found is what we already know. Oh, it's long. 1, she's a nameless girl from the 1800s who other girls were jealous of. 2, she got her face marred in an accident thanks to her bullies. 3, she disappeared and was never heard from again. 4, there's only one picture left of her in the entire world, and it's the one that her bullies defaced. 5, the bullies were cursed to suffer her fate and could only escape it if they passed the picture on to someone else. 6, whoever is currently cursed brings her closer to them with every selfie they take, or picture or video that's taken of them. 7, when she's within 5 feet of you, she can mess with you. 8, those who aren't cursed only see her as a blur or smudge on the photos she's in with the people she stalks. If I maybe knew her name, then we'd have something to go off of. But I have no idea who she was or even what town she was from, and we don't have time to figure it out. Roxanne takes Jason by the arms. I jump every time I hear any sort of noise, and I know that you do too. My mom's friend flushed the toilet last night, and you and I nearly peed ourselves. Jason hangs his head as he knows she's right. Roxanne cups his chin and steps in closer to him. This is no way to live, Jace. We have to pass on the curse. It's the only way we'll know for sure that we're safe. Jason nods sadly and they hug. Let's do it today. All right. But promise me we'll choose someone who deserves it. Someone bad. Roxanne rubs his back. I can live with that. Roxanne and Jason approach Jo and Lisa to tell them that they're done with their project and want to do some sightseeing. They all pack up and start going around Paris, and Jason and Roxanne are both completely on edge at the sight of camera phones all around. They manage to step away from Jo and Lisa and begin people watching to find the 2 individuals that they're willing to sentence to being haunted. Roxanne sees a group of girls no older than her pointing and laughing at one of their peers who is sitting on a bench and all alone looking sad. Roxanne zeroes in on the main girl who is doing the teasing. I think I know who I'm going to curse. Jason turns his head to look at the group of the girls and observes their behavior. Are you sure about this? Yeah, why? They seem kind of vain. I could see the girl getting them by the end of the day. Roxanne scoffs. Well, it's a good thing I typed up the instructions on the back of the picture. She kisses Jason on the cheek. Wish me luck. Jason watches as Roxanne saunters over towards the girls and hands the picture off to a tall, slim, freckled brunette before walking back to him. Roxanne and him both watch as the girl opens the picture. Looking confused, she flips it over to the back and seemingly reads it before rolling her eyes, crumbling up the paper, and throwing it away. Roxanne shrugs with a sigh. I can't say I didn't warn her. She turns to Jason. Okay, you're up, babe. Jason looks around for a bit before seeing a man talking to a couple of tourists to distract them while his accomplice steals their bags. Jason's eyes narrow and he's filled with some assurance. Oh, I definitely know who I'm gonna curse. Roxanne arches a brow at him while he takes the photo out and intricately folds it before pulling out a 20 from his wallet. He then wraps the 20 around it and puts it in his back pocket, making sure it sticks out. He goes over to the thieves and chats up the one who does the distractions. Roxanne's face brightens when she sees the other thief eye the money in Jason's back pocket before sneakily waltzing up and stealing it and the picture from him. He then nods to his partner, who politely waves Jason off before leaving. Roxanne smiles as Jason goes back to her. How'd I do? Roxanne squeals and throws her arms around his neck. You were brilliant. Jason smirks at her. Is it bad to feel better after having possibly cursed someone to death? No, it's just human. How do we know if it worked? Roxanne slowly pulled her phone out of her pocket. I guess it's a good thing I brought this. Gives me the creeps just holding it now, though. Jason nodded in agreement and took her phone from her. If we're going to check, then we'll check together. Roxanne breathed out and grabbed Jason's hand. He pulled her in close and they both held their breath as Jason stretched out his arm and turned on the front-facing camera. Here goes everything. He snapped several shots of them and then quickly opened the gallery so they could examine the pictures. And everyone the girl, who was now at least within 20 feet of them, just stood in the background, never inching closer. They both looked at each other with wide eyes of shock and relief. We did it! She's still there, but she's not getting closer. They both hugged each other gratefully, jumping when Joe and Lisa came to them, going on about how they had been trying to find them. Jason and Roxanne laughed and apologized for disappearing before continuing their sightseeing. Although their friends were gone and their lives were forever changed, they had each other and decided to make every day count from then on, first by enjoying the rest of their summer vacation, and then by making the most out of their last year of high school before starting their new lives at their respective colleges. Oh, it was long. It broke their hearts to receive calls from their friends' parents about how Mark, Beth, and Troy were all missing, as Roxanne and Jason knew they could never tell them the truth. When Roxanne and Jason got home, every missing persons poster and question about when they were last seen and who last spoke to them only deepened their grief and fueled their anger towards Kyle. Jason wanted to confront his mother about what Kyle had told them, but decided it would be best to leave it in the past. He and Roxanne clung to each other during their last year of high school, but sadly drifted apart when they got accepted to different colleges. When Roxanne told Jason she couldn't find a single trace of Kyle, no matter how hard she looked, they both knew it was time to move on from their vendetta and honor their friends by living their lives, even though it meant living them separately. Although they were no longer together and only sent well wishes on holidays and their birthdays, being the last survivors of their friend group and knowing that the curse of the nameless girl was true would forever tie them together and maybe even one day bring them back to each other. The end. Well, okay, that was Pass It On from the app called Chatty. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know, you guys are saying, well, what's the epilogue? But my time is kind of sort of up. So I will try to record the epilogue and show that to you guys. Right now I'm trying to show you guys like the whole app. That's the author. Wrote the story, write all the stories. And this is the home. This is literally like how it looks. But yeah, I would say, check it out for yourselves, but this isn't a good replacement for Cliffhanger, so I may have to give up like texting app stories for probably ever now, unless Cliffhanger comes back. But I will try to find something else. I keep trying to find other things. I know you guys see the stuff advertised, but sometimes the stuff advertised isn't very good either. But yeah, I will try and record epilogue and give that to you guys too. So it'll be 6 videos altogether. And like I said, I may span it over, well, 6 days, but I definitely wanted to give you guys something for Halloween. So I hope you guys are taking care out there. I know you guys probably, yeah, hear me sniffling and stuff. I'm okay. I'm not sick or anything, but it's just, with the weather changes, yeah. You guys make sure to take care of yourselves and hug your loved ones. Do good in school, eat your vegetables, all that boring stuff. That's actually very good for you. And most importantly, have a very happy Halloween.